See, everyone wasn't taught those skills or haven't had a chance to be around people to help them develop those skills.
True,
You
true.
know, so when a certain situation comes, all they know is how to react,
Through
how
social media.
yeah,
Yeah. But
or
that's why
yeah,
I asked you your
yeah,
age, because
yeah,
that's
or
what,
how they been acting. Yeah,
being a little older, that's what we was told. You shake them hand, look them in the eye.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
stand up, put your chest out. You know what I'm saying? Let them know you here just as well as them being there. Give each other that respect. And now it's so easy to feel disrespected through a device.
Yes.
And
It's
then they
crazy.
and then they forget and then people. I'm not gonna just say guys. I'm gonna say little young brothers or whatever you want to call it. I'm saying people. Period. You forget. Um, this is also a platform that automatically makes you a target if
Oh
you
yeah.
if you're sending out the wrong message or you're on it for the wrong reasons. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important for people to understand the responsibility of it too. If you're gonna be on social media, you have a responsibility, and
Yeah.
if you don't live up to that responsibility, people gonna check you.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have access to you. Before, in certain scenarios, you could say a whole bunch of stuff and no one could say anything to you. It would just be like, oh, well, she said it and it is what it is. And now, oh, soon as somebody say something, somebody making a meme. Or soon as somebody say something, somebody is tweeting something, somebody is Instagramming something, somebody is Facebooking something. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, just think about just, Derek's wife. She became a meme. What I say, man, murder. She became a meme, even though she was a victim. It's just crazy how just the whole it could turn on
Yeah, but
you.
okay, so here's my thing. She wasn't ready. Like
What? Because
I
she was sitting there with a bonnet on, or
no,
she
what I
was.
mean is she was she wasn't ready for the judgment. Like
Yeah.
you have to be ready for the judgment when you step on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And then she felt attacked and she was trying to bite back, but she was losing. She's lost.
Yeah.
Like to the point where people were like, just shh, shh, baby, shh, be quiet.
The internet is petty. The
The
internet is
internet
petty.
is so petty. Oh, it's hilariously petty sometimes, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so petty. But going back to what you said about the respect and shaking people's hands and looking at
Showing them
people.
at the door. Showing
Yeah,
them to your door.
there you go with the door again. But looking at people in their eyes. So we were in the car today, and my son asked me. He says, "Mom, why won't they let me wear my hoodie in school?" And I said it's because it's disrespectful. It's showing them that you don't care. It's showing them that you're not paying attention. You could be hiding something under your hoodie. You could be trying to sleep under your hoodie. It
Oh,
covers your,
having it up.
yeah, having it
Okay,
up.
okay.
He
I was
wanted,
saying, I thought you said he can't
oh
physically
no no
wear
no
it
no
to
no
school, but
no
having the
no.
hood up. Okay,
It was, I was
okay.
charging
That's
him
what I'm
up.
looking like. I'm looking like he can't wear my pants. I bought this. What you mean my child can't wear this? So
you
yeah,
were
okay, I understand.
you were getting all charged up. No, he can't wear the hood.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Not the hoodie, the hood. So I'm like, because it's disrespectful. When you wear this hood, it's like a covering. Every time we've seen somebody wear a hood, it's been like, well, I think about robberies and I think about somebody trying to sneak and hide something. And don't get me wrong, I get it when it's cold outside. It was 70 degrees outside. Why do you, and you're indoors. So why do you have a hoodie on if you're not trying to go to sleep? If you're not trying to hide some in your ears? Because them headphones shouldn't be in your ears,
Yeah.
right? So in school, why do you even need the stupid hoodie? But that is something that, and I won't even say this generation, I will say society now, because there's so many things that people who are my age and up, and I am not 21, y'all already know that. So
Supposed to
I
ride
am
with it.
I am 38 years old, but I want to say my age because it's people who are my age and older who are falling into the same categories as these kids.
I
They're
mean, hey, oh no, my fault. Look, I
no,
didn't.
no,
I
no,
was
go
just
ahead.
no, I was just agreeing. But I was just saying, you saying they falling into the same category as the kids and doing the certain things. I'm gonna say something that, and some folks might not like this, but you got to understand certain certain type of energy move around. If you someone that if you got a kid like my son is 14. Okay, he listens to certain things. I listen to certain things. There's a few things that I might listen to with him might be alright to me, but for the most part, man, I just feel like okay, I'm 37 years old. I can't possibly listen to the same thing every day that my son listen to,
Right.
who's 14 years old. Now he listen to some of the stuff I listen to because it give him a big broad insight. I mean,
Well,
look
that
on
was his
things.
foundation of music, which coming from you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but so you see that stuff to rub off. I mean, you ride around, listen to the same thing your kid listen to. So sometimes you start to
Yeah.
see certain traits that still carry in you, that's
Right.
carrying in you and your kids. If I said that right, but
No, I understand what
even
you're
though I feel
saying.
we all have some, still always have growing up to do because there's always room for improvement. The growth never stops. But I'm just saying on certain levels, certain things should be done certain ways.
But
Yeah.
just certain people get to our age, being late 30s, early 40s. Some people don't want to let things go. They still want to be in their 20s, trying to live off their good years in that sense. Also,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I
Yeah, I
still
still
feel
feel
like I'm in my
20,
twenties,
but
but
I don't mean I want to go
I
to the
don't
clubs Friday, Saturday,
I
and
don't want to
Sunday.
do this.
I don't want to just be out hanging out every day. It's just
But
some
do
things
your
you gotta let
knees
go.
feel 20? Like my knees tell me every day that
Uh
I
huh.
am not 20 years old.
When I'm fading out at 9, 10 o'clock every night, now I realize like, damn, I can't stay woke.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so speaking of what you were just talking about, riding in the car with your kids. So I was riding in the car earlier, and every once in a while, because my kids are connected to my YouTube, every once in a while I'll play the songs that they've been playing
Hmm.
to kind of see what the content is, and I'll do it while they're in the car. And so it was crazy because we were listening to this artist called Moray, and so that song was a little edgy, and then and then there was another song called Sesame Street, and I was like, oh, this should be okay. And so I started to play it, and they were like, no, no, no. They were like, no, mom, no, mom, you can't play that. No, you have a little one in the car. Now, my kids are 14, 11, and 8, and talking about my 8-year-old was the little one in the car. So I'm like, okay, so what have you been listening to that your mom can't listen to? I'm like, so at that point, I'm like, you got to really check this. If you're listening to the stuff that's on the same level as the kids, and don't get me wrong, for the most part, I'm really kind of at this point I'm a little more liberal because I
Hmm.
realize that I grew up in the church, and so but I also listen to hip hop. I listen to Tupac. I listen to Biggie. I listen to all kinds of artists. I listen to Jodeci. Yeah, I listen to stuff that was not church at all. So I had to have a little leeway with my kids, but I also want to make sure that they're not listening to kill, 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 murder, murder, murder. you
But
know?
it's not that really in the music anymore. It's all about drugs and hanging out,
Oh my
kicking it now.
It's
gosh.
just all about
That's what
brain.
it's
It's
about
No,
just
it's
now.
about
it's
killing.
it's the
It's
brainwashing now,
Well,
man. It's a
you gotta
brainwashing
you gotta
mechanism, man.
remember. I sit in recording
oh
studios all the
well,
time with
yeah,
with rappers of
Well,
today.
I sit there with my brother's friend, but they're a little older, so it's not really.
No,
But
these
yeah,
these are early 20s,
yeah,
like mid 20s, and when I tell you all they talk about is sex, guns, and drugs. And I always
sex, money,
and
murder.
yeah, I always thought that was like cliche, but it's real.
That's
Like
all
they
the labels
really
gonna take on right now, though. That's all the labels gonna take on right now, though.
and that's so sad. But I guess that's what they've always been talking about. Like when I when I think about the hip hop songs we listen to, that's what they talked about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some, because
I
the
mean, you
'80s,
have
the '80s
fun
was the
stuff.
best. That was the '80s. Because
Yeah.
come early '90s, that's when they switched everything as far as
Yeah.
how they was promoting
They sure did.
us.
Yes.
They had
You
a
True.
know,
they had a big meeting about it and everything.
because
That's
Did
a whole
they?
that's a whole nother
yeah,
story,
That's a
though.
whole
I
nother.
might rub
You know
folks the
about the
wrong
meeting?
way, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave it
yeah,
alone.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're right though. They had a meeting about how they
it's
was gonna market when it came to hip hop. Because think about it, in the '80s, you had EPMD, you had uh, basically a lot of hip hop artists who were bringing messages.
Okay.
They were
Yeah.
bringing a message. I mean,
Yeah.
because think about "Don't Push Me" because
Don't
I'm
they
close.
got rid of all the conscious
Now it's
rap
just like I'm
now.
coming bang, bang. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's different. But then
Yeah.
it was a message. You had to listen to it to get the message. I'm close to there.
Yeah.
I'm not there, but now they tell you I'm there. What's up? I
But
want that smoke.
I think one thing that was different also is that I felt like the rappers before were telling you what they were going through and how they didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Now they glorify it. They're like, I'm killing everybody, murdering your mama, murdering your kids,
Kids,
the
babysitter.
babies, your grandma, where your
Exactly.
grandma,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Don't want to see the light of day,
I
man.
know, and that's the sad part. Like I always want to promote hope. So like when I'm sitting in a studio and I can hear these young guys talking about popping pills and about their families and about doing stuff to other people, it's so sad.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you watch their social medias and they post these videos and the videos got them holding all this money now. They can barely pay for studio time. But they but they got a stack of money and they're pushing the money all the way around and they got these fancy cars. I don't know where they get the fancy cars from. I guess you can rent it, but rent it for the video. But then I look at all of that stuff that they do and I'm like, poor baby. Like what's your future look like?
I look at it differently. I look at it and be like, where's your parents at? I
Oh,
have a
listen.
27-year-old, a 21-year-old, and
Mm-hmm.
a 12-year-old.
Uh-huh.
So you early 20s, that's being a parent of an early 20, it's like, what were they into? They didn't want that. Because I can understand as a kid, I was a
Yeah.
ruffian. I got in trouble. I done did some things. But as I got older and learning and becoming a responsible person with kids, I wanted them to see different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like you said, at this point, okay, so, I kind of, I am what I am. So I'm going to have my biblical basis, even if I'm just not, I don't have to preach Jesus, Jesus, Jesus in order to just tell my truth. And so, like, the word talks about train up a child in the way that they
Let's
should
go.
go. And when they're
Learn,
old, they
but
won't
not
depart.
depart.
So we have to think
Ecclesiastes
about
12:1.
they're in there. Oh, look at you.
Oh,
See,
come on.
so we have to think about it. They have a process just like we did. The only thing that worries me is them getting to it too late. And I mean, I know God knows, but you always worry about your child getting there too late. Like I would rather you understand it at 12
Yeah.
than have to learn it at 35. That's what every parent wants. Every parent wants for their child to understand it right now.
Yeah.
Don't
Mm-hmm.
don't have to learn it 30 years down the line, 40 years down the line. I didn't realize until I got older how many ignorant old people there are.
Oh my goodness. Can I say this real quick? I had to say this, and don't get me wrong. I love and respect all all my elders because I look at them. When I look at them, I see my grandmother or my grandfather. But I'm
Hmm.
just saying, maybe they may not even be as old as them. But as far as maybe over 40s, in your late 40s, going into your 50s and 60s, some brothers really act like they are old fools instead of being from the old school, and that's just being honest.
Yeah, yeah. I, I look at older people, and I have a lot of wonderful older people in my life. I have to admit it. I have been very blessed to have a whole bunch of people who have affected me and who have kind of kept me in the straight and narrow. But then I see some people, and I'm like, what happened to you? Like, how did you miss that lesson? And how did you end up being in your 50s and 60s and still be selfish
Yeah.
and still not love yourself?
Yeah.
Like when you can look on social media and see an older person posting pictures of themselves half naked, and you see pictures of them, not pictures, but when you see posts
Mm-hmm.
of them talking like one of these 20-year-olds, and I got a and I know it was fake, but it was funny. I got a friend request the other day from a sugar mama. She wanted to be my sugar mama, and that thing cracked me up so bad. She said, "Sugar mama looking for a sugar baby," and I laughed so hard. But it's really people out here like that who are really looking. I say just looking for love.
Yeah.
And that's really where it boils down to. You looking for love in order to love yourself and to love others. And the basis of all of it. If you dealt with the right people who weren't gonna use you, who was just gonna love you for who you are, how many jacked up people have you had to deal with that you are still broken at 60?
And you need likes so
Right.
you can like yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Like
Right.